Hello everybody, my name's Stephen Ritchie. I'm a multimedia artist from Ashford in Kent, UK. So, the BBC broadcast a programme a couple of years ago called Home is Where the Artists, which I was involved in. And they've just repeated it on the telly, which I think is the second time they've repeated it. And of course, every time they repeat it on the telly, I get a few contacts. So a lady rang me, and keeping in mind I'm pretty busy, so I couldn't take on too big a project because I've got a couple of big projects on my bench already. But it wasn't going to be too big, so I'm going to try and squeeze this one in. I found this woman thoroughly charming, made me laugh, and she sent me some pictures of her brother who's just had his 50th birthday, so she'd like to do something for his 50th. So highly suitable beard and set of glasses, so I thought, yeah, I can do something with this guy. Hoping I've got the material in stock. So where do you start with a thing like this, producing a face? Well, I start with the nose. So a little bit around bar, cut the little nuggets for either side of your nostrils. Little bit of carving and messing about with a 4.5-inch angle grinder and building it up. Now I'm trying to reproduce a particular face here, so it always costs a little bit more because you have to spend a little bit of time, and obviously getting the nose length and shape roughly to where the chap is. I mean, if you wanted to do a complete reconstruction of someone's face, you'd cast it, wouldn't you? But I'm not doing that, I'm fabricating. And the same with the lips. Quite a lot of shape to lips when you look at them in detail. And just getting the proportions right and making sure I had a little bit of brass laying around the place. So I'm getting very short materials now, haven't been out for a while. I'm going to try and use as many materials that I have in the workshop and to scale down a little bit. And this particular piece of brass, nice and thick, and I think I've got one more bit of brass to do one more set of glasses, so that'll be it until I can find some more brass. So here I am. I'm just pressing out the shape now. I'm using a thing called a fly press, and in the fly press, as you see, I've got a donut and a round ball in it, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to press a circular shape, dome the glasses a little bit. And as you know, a pair of glasses, if you look at it in plan from above, they curve to take up the shape of your forehead and your face. So that's what I'm doing now. The little lugs on the side of the glasses, I'm going to drill and countersink a clearance hole, and then I drill and tap the sideburns of the sculpture to be able to attach them. I build up a bit of a bridge on the nose as well, so it's got somewhere to sit nice. I mean, they are two separate items. And all the banging about, I'll do a little bit of work on the fly press. I'll also bash it about on a dolly as well, just to get that final shape. Got to be a bit careful of cracking here. Sometimes they crack, tiny little bit won't matter too much, but if it cracks right through because you've over inked it a little bit, bit of warmth can help sometimes, but I do most things in my life cold. I haven't even got access to well, I have got access to it, but I haven't got any oxyacetylene in my workshop anymore. Where I'm working, it punched the insurance up through the ceiling with two gas bottles, pressurised gas bottles in my workshop, so I'm going to live without for a little while. Never used it very much in the past anyway. So yeah, I've let it go. Gas has got really expensive. I'm quite happy to do most of my work with MIG weld. I'm not going to live long enough to be able to reproduce everything that I want to do anyway. So on the chin then. So I produce a bit of tin work, try to bash it to somewhere with a shape and somewhere where it's going to start looking like him a little bit. And then I'll start layering up. Now it probably takes about 4 layers of a hairy beard, so 4 lots of MIG weld, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm MIG welding over the top, and I'm trying to get the shape a little bit. Got prominent little chin there, and the moustache part of your beard tends to sit a bit prouder, so I can reproduce all that and tinker with it. I've got a 0.6 wire in my MIG welder, so it's the smallest I go to sort of reproduce the hair. I generally run a 0.8 or a 1mm wire when I'm sculpting. but when I start to do the beards and nose and beards and things, I put a 0.6 in there, and that's what I'm using now. This little plate, I get very, very hot, so I've got to be super careful and handling all this when it starts to glow a little bit. Keeps you warm in the winter, but of course, middle of the summer, I'm boiling doing this. Anyway, so yeah, starting to get the shape a little bit now. I actually had the sideburns on to begin with, found that they weren't really working. It was all awkward to work on the piece itself. Excuse me. Oh, dear. It's all right, I've been up a long time. Yeah. Excuse me. So yes, I took them off, made it a bit easier. There I am removing them, in fact. I've also got a sort of a peg coming off the bridge of my nose, or bridge of this sculptured nose, for the glasses to sit and be able to sort of mount them from there. Exactly how I mount this in a light box, I'm making a MDF box that's going to have 2 lit panels, just like it was seen on TV. Again, out of offcuts that I find in a joiner's offcut tray, which I shall go and see my old neighbour later. But anyway, here we are. That's the first layer of MIG weld, and this is a chap called Dominic, who set up another joinery shop. He was right next door to me in what had been where you'd grow mushrooms. So a windowless room, if you like, with a door either end, a cloche type tunnel of a building, which was okay to start off with, but his mum had a barn, so he spent a lot of money converting this barn, getting it look as cool as this, and he's just moved into it, so I had to go and see him. So he's 15-20 minutes away from me now, and Ever the professional not only cuts me the timber, will edge it up and square it up for me as well, which is what he's doing now. Done a bit of a tit for tat with him, so the material in this particular case didn't cost me anything. I did do a little job for him to pay for it. I bought all the bits home because that's where the time goes, is in the sort of marking out, assembly, and just making the thing. Now, I'm not going to do joinery work on this. I'm simply going to screw a box together with the materials that I've been given, and but still use some interesting tools. I've just showed you there was a drill countersink, which is a drill countersink in one, so with one pressing it's drilled and countersink to fit the screws that I've got. I've got a little drill stroke milling cutter. It's a pillar drill with a table that can move up and down. I mean, I wouldn't call it strictly, but it is a milling cutter. But I jigsawed this out within about a mil of its actual size, the hole in the middle, if you like, and squared it all up with this milling cutter, which was bought from a celebrity, singer-songwriter, internationally known singer-songwriter, big name. He was having a bit of a sell-off of his equipment and welders, and in fact it's the welder that I'm using on this job as well, and various other panel beating tools. He was doing up cars, making cars, renovating motorbikes, customizing motorbikes, all sorts. He's not only a very, very talented singer-songwriter, he's a pretty good engineer as well. So here I am, I'm squaring things up for myself to make this box. I feel like I've progressed quite well. It was getting really, really hot in the workshop, so I dashed on home and started getting on with this box. After I've posted this film, I shall go back into the workshop. I've got another little job to finish, then I shall get back on with this nose and glasses affair. It is for his 50th birthday, which has gone already, but as long as I get this done before his next birthday, it'll be fine, apparently. Like I say, the customer here I found particularly charming, and I don't think I'd done this job without finding her as amusing as I did. Anyway, so here I am once again. I've got 4 edges to do here as I go round, and I've got to find some perspex, which I know I've got some in the workshop somewhere. So I've had a good dig about, and actually, no, I did actually find it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some diffused lighting in it. So behind the perspex, I shall put some lights, and then I shall paint the perspex just so it lets a little bit of light through. And what's nice about these lights is there's No, I won't say too much because I don't want the customers to say too much. Anyway, the lights are great. I'm now doing a little bit of a thinner slot to be able to slide the perspex in. And it's the first time I've had this machine for how long now? A year and a half. Yeah, at least that, maybe even longer. And it's the first time I've really properly used it for anything. So thanks for that. It fits in my little shed at home. I'm working at home now in this doing this carpentry work. Don't like to mix carpentry work and steel work in small spaces for obvious health and safety reasons, you know. I was setting it on fire. So, and not only that, the workshop at home is very well lit. I've made it out of all recycled timber, didn't buy any timber. Bought some very expensive screws to put it together because, you know, time is an element. But it's a lit roof, so the lighting in this workshop is just brilliant. You know, I think as I'm 60 now, so I'm getting closer to becoming immobile. And I can see this being my painting space. I can see myself doing all my painting in this place. It's a wonderful studio for that. So coming together quite well. Not done yet, but I thought I'd bring the customer up to date. That's why I'm producing this film. So look, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see the end of this little job. And oh, just a small footnote. I added some clapping, some audience participation on I think the last thing that I posted, and or the second to last thing I posted, and I got a comeback from YouTube for copyright. Yeah, I lifted the clapping off an album, but I didn't think, as it wasn't music itself.
We're not moving armoured vehicles on the rail beds.
What the hell's that? Oh, right. And yeah, copyright came in and said, you know, I've been blocked in Russia for copyright reasons. I don't expect to get a lot of customers from Russia at the moment, so it's no hard felt. And YouTube wasn't making a big deal out of it. They didn't say it's, you know, hasn't flagged anything up for me and caused any difficulty as far as that's concerned. But I was quite surprised that just applause. I think it was taken off a Hendrix album. Yeah, was wrong. I did wrong. But never mind. And it's a shame because nearly 99.9% of the stuff, music and stuff, is me. You know, it's me banging about on a guitar with my mates, so, or me on my own. So, and it's all written, all the music's all written by me as well. So, yeah, isn't it strange that then you can get done for copyright over clapping? Anyway, watch out for that, YouTubers. So, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, keep in touch, and don't forget to leave some notes. Ta-da, everybody. Have fun. Bye.